Hey, look, y'all don't even understand. He's the one that started this load management. Right?
It's the rings. That's not the question you asked me before. Well, this guy's easy to talk to. Your boys keep saying I keep cooking you every episode, so let's get back in the kitchen. I'm gonna cook them up once again.
This is the problem with sports, period. It's the Billionaire Club.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Quarters in Session podcast. It's Ray.
Darry Disco.
We're happy to have you guys back. We're here to talk some more basketball. It's the most wonderful time of the year. NBA Finals are here, Darry.
Okay.
It's great because I'm going to be right again.
Okay.
First thing that we're going to talk about is Eastern Conference Finals. Miami took care of business in 7 in Boston, and now they are in the finals. What are your thoughts about the Eastern Conference Finals?
Well, let me make this very clear, first of all. 3 weeks ago, because he's an avid Knicks fan.
Avid.
He was so happy, but he forgot about it. You know, the Knicks fans have amnesia. Okay, that's all I just wanted to say to all you Knicks fans. Stop acting like next year is going to be better, because it's going to be worse for y'all. But going to the conference finals,
Yes.
What is it, Ray?
We went to the semis. We didn't make it to the finals.
Yeah, I know.
We're
That's what y'all
about,
do. Y'all are vice president of basketball.
We're talking about Miami and Boston. Stop talking about the Knicks.
Okay.
Leave New York out of this. Leave my Knicks alone. Just throwing jabs.
Van Gundy's going to be the coach next year.
I would love that. I would love that. But leave my Knicks alone.
Okay. What we doing?
We're talking about Miami and how they beat Boston. We already know they beat the Knicks.
Okay.
They beat Boston. Tell me about the series. What did you think about the series?
You know, a lot of guys, because the media, once again, dictates, they create a narrative. People that played the game, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, boxing, whatever, there is a logic to everything. Basketball is score and keep your opponent from scoring. For some reason, my co-host here as well, when I asked the question, he thinks that basketball is about outscoring your opponent. And what's the point of defense?
I never said that.
You did say, no, you didn't, but you said it was the point of, I said, what's the logic of winning a basketball game? You said,
outscoring your opponent.
No. The logic of, because the skill, defense is a skill. No one knows how to play defense when they like basketball. It's a skill. And in this NBA now, the reason why they have made the rules so lenient to offensive players is because of the lack of talent. Now, when you get in the playoffs, everybody talks about the numbers for 82 games. Nobody has the same enthusiasm playing 82 games. Sometimes you're coming from back-to-backs, you're hurt, you might be having issues with, wife might be pregnant, whatever the case may be. But when you're in a series, that's when coaching and the culture of the organization that's what it's about. There's a reason why Miami is in the finals with 4 undrafted players. There's no other coach that could put their hat on that. It's Pat Riley. And these guys believe. I mean, to go into Boston and just humiliate them, and people talk about, well, Tatum got hurt the first play of the game. That doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't matter.
I agree with you on that.
Miami has a culture that, for me being a old school player playing in the 80s, that's what I love about it. They expect to win. I like the way they pick each other up. They're never surprised at their success, where other people are like, wow, I didn't think they was going to achieve that. So Boston has a coach. The moment's too big for him. But they already committed by giving him that extension, in the middle. So they got to stay with him.
Yeah.
So now what they're trying to do, like they just picked up Sam Cassell.
I love that pickup.
Yeah, that's a good pickup, because eventually Sam Cassell is going to be the coach. That's what that's about. But now they got to worry about what's going to happen with Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
But Sam Cassell has a relationship. Let me see. Yeah, well, he has a relationship with Jaylen Brown. So what they're trying to do is bring people in that he has a relationship with. They're going to lose Grant Williams.
Okay.
That's not okay, because he's a big part of what they do. And that guy sat him for the first 2 games of the conference finals. He didn't play him. So You lose by 19, 20 points, game 7 in your arena. That's a problem.
That's a big problem.
That's a problem, man.
You can't defend the home court.
Yes.
In the most important moment.
Guys don't want to play for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Miami, it's crazy you said that because you love Riley. Riley's a great guy to love. He's been in just under 20% of all the NBA finals as a player, a coach, and an executive. That speaks volumes to who he is. Yeah. Right, Jay, what's the second segment?
We're going to review the Western Conference Finals.
All right, cool. And that was a clean sweep. Jokic, Murray, Porter, Gordon pulled out the brooms, swept them away.
The
I'm
NBA,
back in the nursing home.
I'm sorry to cut you off, right?
No, you're good.
The NBA is so thirsty for business. If you get the Lakers in the conference final, that's a big market. But it's Denver's time. Denver is a small marketplace. Mike Malone is a great coach. He's a good coach, excuse me. I'm not going to say he's a good coach.
Okay.
But he comes from, his father was
coaching
a great
lineage, yeah.
And you could see, if you don't play for him, he's going to sit you. He talks to Jokic the same way he'll talk to the ugly guy that got traded. Gargoyle face, I'm sorry. Reggie Jackson.
Yeah. But as a player, don't you want to see that in a coach? You don't want to see favoritism.
Well, these guys are not made up. It depends because they give these guys so much money without them earning anything. When you start getting on them, it's like, how dare you? You don't work for anything. So when you don't work for anything, you don't appreciate anything. Yeah. And that's just the problem with the NBA. Now, when you get a guy like Jokic, who's outstanding, Murray, who comes back from a really bad
leg injury, knee injury.
And now, the guy that's going to hurt them and shouldn't be on the team is the kid Michael Porter. He don't want to play. He's 6'10". He plays like he's 5'9".
He just shoots.
That's all he do is shoot.
Shooter.
He does not care
pass
about
the ball,
and he don't care about defense.
Nope.
So I'm glad to see Denver there. And Anthony Davis, I got to say this. I know it might be off the segment, but the media ordains these guys
as stars.
Anthony Davis should not have been on the top 75. I don't care. He did 5 years. He played good.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that got snubbed for a guy like him.
Tracy McGrady is not on the top 75.
Chris Mullin.
But I'm gonna go Tracy McGrady because at one time Tracy McGrady and Kobe was neck and neck in the league.
Yeah, and if he didn't get hurt,
we
don't know.
But look what he did. His body of work.
Yeah,
he had
crazy.
that Houston team in the playoffs. He had that.
He made Orlando relevant
team.
for the first time since Shaq and Penny. Exactly. Yeah.
Then you have Dwight Howard, a 5-time All-Defensive Player, rebound, not on it. You got to be kidding me. And
that's why you can't take those lists seriously.
But that's a problem. And I'm not gonna leave out Kyrie. Kyrie didn't even make an All-NBA team this year, and he averaged 27, 6, and 5. That's crazy.
Look at who the voters are. They're guys that have probably never dribbled a basketball since 5th grade.
Yeah, guy that wear pink and yellow and does this with his neck all the time. And keeps going to the barbershop and getting fades starting at the top.
Do you want to? Who's that person?
Stephanie A. Smith.
From the top of the
Stephen A. Smith. I ain't call a man or girl. Excuse me, but Stephen A. Smith.
All right.
Yeah.
So Denver looked good. Lakers look like they got to retool.
Well, there's things happening. I'm not gonna say I'm not privileged to say it, but things are going to happen in LA.
Okay. All right. Jay, third segment.
NBA Finals predictions.
All right. So we got Miami, we got Denver. Dari, you've been talking about the matchup. You like the matchup. You think it's going to be a good series. Give me your prediction.
Denver is definitely the more talented team. Definitely. But in this game, if it was a 1-game series, I would go with Miami. But, at the end of the day, the longer the series goes on, the better team, the more talented team is going to win. Miami plays hard, you know. Denver has not done anything to stop Miami from doing what they want to do. They missed shots. They turned the ball over the last game. That wasn't because of Denver's defense. They can't stop. Okay, 2 guys got triple doubles. But there was that 60, 70 points.
About.
Nobody else got off though. Mm-mm. The kid Brown.
Yeah.
He played good. He played good.
He plays well in that system.
He played good. He definitely played good. But Miami was still clawing. You know, they were still clawing. So I'm glad to see Denver there, and I like Miami. So my prediction is play until somebody loses.
Oh, that's a good prediction. That's a good one. I mean, I'm not going to be political at all that. I'm just going to go straight to the point. Denver's going to win in 6. Denver's going to win in 6. Okay. I agree with what you're saying. I think that now the moment is getting a little too big for these undrafted free agents because Strus is not making the shots Strus makes. Duncan Robinson's not making the shots he makes. Gabe Vincent's not making the shots he makes.
You said that. You didn't say that in game 2, but now because they had a bad shooting game in game 3, it's getting too big for them.
It is.
No, you know when
it's crunch time.
You know when the moment's too big for a person? When they don't want to shoot the ball. Anytime you shoot the ball, you stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, but when you go 0 for 10 and 0 for 8 from the stripe in game 1,
nobody shoots thinking that they're going to miss.
And you're a guy that against Denver in both games in the season, you scored 19 and 23.
Are you talking about the season again?
But how does the drop off go from 23 to 3 like that?
That's why Michael Jordan is the great, because when you can sustain a certain level of excellence throughout your career, there's not too many guys. You can't look at Miami and say the moment's too big for them.
These guys, these undrafted guys, have already fulfilled what they already
Says who?
Everybody outside of that organization.
Stephen A. Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. No, right?
Listen.
Okay.
You look at this Denver team. Denver's got a lot more talent.
That's obvious.
I think Jokic is going to do what Jokic does. Mm-hmm. And everyone was talking smack about game 2 when he had 4 assists. And I said, this is going to wake him up. He's going to have a great game and he's going to get everybody involved. That triple-double was crazy. I don't remember how many points, but 21 rebounds. What was it, 32 points?
But he does that, though. But you know why he was able to do that? Because Bam and them didn't have good games.
No, and I also think Malone made some good switches on offense. He changed it up a little bit.
Who stopped who?
Murray was getting the ball off. He was shooting way better. No. You go from an 18-point game to...
That's offense. You keep talking about offense because once again, you think that's how you win games.
Barry, there's no defense in today's NBA.
They lost. Miami is in the finals because of defense. Miami didn't make shots. It wasn't that they were taking bad shots. They just wasn't making them.
Yeah.
So that's not because of Denver. They just missed the shots.
Yeah, because they're not up to it for this big moment.
So when you miss a shot, that means you're not up to it?
No, when you go 0 for 8 from 3.
That means you're not up to it?
Yeah, that means you got to get your ass out of the gym.
You know what not up to
practice.
It is? You know what not up to it?
What?
Them guys that say LeBron's the best, and the game is tied 89-89, and you give the ball to a 23-year-old to take the last shot.
And the moment wasn't too big enough. It wasn't big enough for him. It wasn't big enough for Kai.
Yeah, but the guy...
He made the shot, and look at his career after that.
No, we ain't talking about Kyrie. We talking about LeBron.
Yeah.
The moment was too big for him. I just said the moment is too big when you don't take the shot. He didn't want anything to do with that.
But then look at what happened to Kyrie since that shot.
We're not talking about Kyrie.
But we are, though, because you're talking about the guy. You're talking about the guy that made the shot, that took the shot.
We're talking about the guy that people ordain as the greatest of all time.
Yes, delusional people.
Yes, but my point is, he didn't want to take the shot.
That's like taking what a crackhead says seriously.
No, a lot of people say...
because they're crackheads.
Yeah, and they fumble, and then... You don't get into the finals. I'm sorry we getting off
topic. Must have been a crackhead.
Getting off this topic of the greatest. In basketball, any sport.
Your daily LeBron slander.
Yeah, because when you take the opportunity on, it's a 50-50 if you're going to make it or not.
Well, Max Strus, it's a 0 for 50.
But what is it when you don't take the shot?
The same as what he did when he took the shot.
It's 0. You can't.
Max Strus had just as many points as you and I did in game 1.
Right.
And he had 3 more than you and I did in game 3.
But how many?
And that guy's getting paid millions.
But did he take the shots?
He did take the shots.
Did he take the shots when he took? Did it look like he thought he was going to make those shots?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all you can ask.
He hit those shots against the Knicks. He hit those shots against Boston. He hit those shots against Atlanta.
Are you the same man you were 3 years ago?
Hell yeah.
No, you're not.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, some days you on, some days you off. That's what makes it so great. But the thing is, because you missed your first 3, I'm not going to shoot no more. That's not Miami. Them dudes are going to keep playing. That's
Trust
what you
me,
want.
I've watched a lot of Jamal Crawford and J.R. Smith to know that good shooters keep shooting. And those guys always shot. This guy is killing their offense.
You compared them to him.
People picture him to be the same type of player.
They never played. Them 2 guys you just named, what systems did they play in? Jamal Crawford.
He was in D'Antoni's system for a little bit in New York.
That means just do what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Leave Max Strus alone because he's going to do work tomorrow.
I hope so.
Tomorrow? They play tomorrow?
Is it tomorrow or is it Saturday?
I hope it's not Saturday. Really?
They've been pushing it like every 3 days. Yeah. It's been weird.
Well, I know it was a travel after the first 2, but they got to have it on Friday, man.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think Denver's going to win in 6. I really, really do. I just think that they've got too much. I think Miami has played lights out. I think this is one of the better finals runs by any team I've ever seen.
Oh, my God.
Derry, you're an 8. I know they don't come off as an 8 seed. But when you're a team that's literally, they came in, they had to play in the play-in, they got the 8 seed, they go in every single series and they at least take 1 on the road. Okay. They take one in the Mecca. They take multiple at the Boston Garden. They took multiple at MSG too. And then they also, even if they don't win this series, to win one of the first 2 games in Denver is very impressive because of the culture that Pat Riley has built. Like you've been saying, this is a very impressive run because also too, to go back, you want to keep talking about the 4 undrafted free agents that they brought in. Like that, this is like a Cinderella story. If they win, you could see this as a Netflix.
Cinderella story to people that don't know the process.
I get that.
These guys
but that's what's going to sell, Derry. That's what.
Tell who? Because nobody's buying it. Nope, I'm not buying it.
You're not buying it because you're not like an everyday person that's just, look at this, it's an 8 seed.
I know what the process is. I know what it's about. Everybody got to be a seed. When you in the playoffs, everybody's the same.
Yes, I get it. As long as you get an invite to the party, that's all that matters.
Everybody's the same.
Yeah.
It don't mean no 8th, 1, 2. People don't.
But that's what the people, because like everyone, not like you and me, they watch shit and they want to watch the media and they're like, look at this, look at this. So they're gonna glamorize it. It's just that's what they do.
It's ridiculous. You know, when I played Mrs. Guyton, I'm sorry, but I got to talk. My biggest games was playing on the road.
Yes.
Because I didn't know people. I loved to show off. I loved to wink at the cheerleaders. It was something.
You used to.
Yeah, but when you play and people don't know about you, that's your time to put it on. Mm-hmm. In the playoffs, everybody's even killed because everybody has to win 4 games. It don't matter that. When you win a championship, you got to win on the road. You know what I'm saying? They make that thing, the series don't start until somebody else. Where'd that come from?
No, it's not that it comes from, but I'm saying that it's so hard to win on the road, especially in the playoffs.
No, it's not.
How?
It used to be hard. How many teams won on the road in this year's playoffs? Every series somebody won on the road. Think about it. The Kings beat Golden State on the road, and Golden State eliminated them on the road.
I don't know. When you talk about this run, though, that Miami had, number 1 seed Milwaukee, a number 5 Knicks team. I'm not tooting their horn. I'm just saying a solid physical number 5 seeded Knicks team. Then they go and they beat Boston, who's a 2 seed. And if they beat another 1 seed in Denver, who is the best team in the league all season, you can't say that's not impressive. You can't say that's not an impressive run.
2 seed, 1 seed. Do you think Miami thought they couldn't beat Milwaukee.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying from an outsider's perspective. When you beat if you beat 2 1 seeds, a 2 seed, and a 5 seed.
You don't care about nothing because you look at them as 8 seeds.
Okay.
Nobody cares about their ranking. Like, oh, we lost 42 games. We in the playoffs.
Okay. Fair. That's your opinion.
Okay. What's the next segment?
Jason, what's the next segment?
All right, next segment, we're going to ask you guys to make your all-playoff team.
So our top 5?
For this year?
For this year.
No, for 1942, Derry. You could put Lou Hudson in there. And
You're going to stop dissing Lou Hudson, man. You're going to stop dissing Lou Hudson. Sweet Lou Hudson, man.
Give me your top 5.
Let me see this weekly. Okay, Jalen Brunson.
You heard that, people?
Nobody.
Mixed praise.
Nobody from Cleveland. Absolutely not. Boston. Okay.
Isn't there a superstar on that team?
Absolutely not. What is this? Denver and
Minnesota.
Oh, the two guys that trip each other. Yeah, no. Not them. My guards would be Jalen Brunson and De'Aaron Fox.
Like that a lot.
Joel Embiid. Nobody. Devin Booker. And I said Jokic and Murray, right?
You already said 4.
Okay, so yeah, one more. I can't put LeBron.
How is nobody on this team from a finals team? How do you have no Miami Heat or
I'm sorry,
Denver Nuggets?
Jimmy Butler. I'm sorry, Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Your writing is just.
I know, but that's not my fault.
It looks
you
like
don't
you're
remember
drawing
who
bubble
played.
gum. It looks like it's bubble gum.
That's fine. That's fine. But it's still, I got to help write because your old mind doesn't remember who played in this year's playoffs.
Yeah, M looked like an eye. I was trying to figure out this.
You got a couple of good picks. Like you got Brunson, Fox, Embiid, Booker, Jimmy Butler, sure. First 2 off the bat.
Hold on. I didn't put Jokic?
No, you didn't. You put Embiid over Jokic.
Embiid over
You are
Jokic.
crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, you can't change that pick once you change.
Yes, I can. I went first.
Oh, man. I think he's wearing Rudy Gobert's shoes. This man is tripping.
What do I have on?
All right, so my 5. Brunson's on there. Easiest pick.
Oh, my God.
Jokic, man who could play in any era, is my center.
You going position or you just going by
I'm just
player?
going 5.
All right, so stop saying
okay,
center.
sorry. Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
What do I have? So I have Butler. I have Brunson. I have Jokic.
This paper says Julius Randolph.
Yeah, right. No, it says RJ Barrett. I'm going to go. Fox did play well, but I'm not copying your list. I'm going to go Curry. I'm going to take Curry over him.
That's a good pick.
I think Curry over Fox for me.
Nobody from your number 1 seed?
No, because the Bucks were out.
Oh, it goes by that.
Bucks are done. What did they do? I'm gonna put the Greek freak in there. He got hurt.
They only play 5 games. That's true.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it just to piss you off. LeBron James. That's my team.
Please forgive him.
No. All right. So I think once again I picked another team better than you.
You know what happens to
If
people
we didn't
that...
tell you 2 minutes before
I
what to
didn't
pick,
know
you'd
that-
have been like Lou Hudson.
No, I
Pete
didn't,
Maravich.
I didn't know I didn't
Tito
pick,
from down the block.
I didn't pick Jokic. I didn't. Well, Embiid was my last because I thought I had Jokic, but LeBron James,
LeBron James, the GOAT.
the GOAT, yeah,
The GOAT.
yeah. That is a terrible team.
Jokic, Brunson, Curry,
And LeBron,
and LeBron.
the guy that.
And
Did you see LeBron fake the foul 30 feet from the basket. That's ridiculous. He should have got kicked out. Next year, he shouldn't be able to play in the playoffs.
Listen, and the Oscar goes to.
And then, hold on. And then he fell, and the lady gave him a towel, and he said, "Thank you." Who does that?
Listen, he's a smart man. Just like Jason Kidd when they were playing the Lakers when he was the coach of the Nets, and he was holding that cup of ice, and he was telling the guy, "We're out of timeouts. Hit me, hit me, hit me." Hit him. The cup went all over the place, got on the court.
I don't even remember.
They got the final shot, and they won the game.
That has no comparison to LeBron James.
It's smart.
LeBron James'
smart.
face.
Yeah, and Jason Kidd faked
did
his
like
shit
this.
to get a free timeout.
Thank you.
You do that too well.
I watched LeBron. I reviewed it like 8 times. I was like, I can't believe this dude is doing this, man.
So, I don't know if we could put like an image up, but you could see Dary's team, hopefully, and my team, and comment below, see whose team is better, who would win. Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna get more. I'm correct and you're correct.
That's crazy.
Because you think Jokic is a bum. And said, Jokic.
I never said he was a bum.
He would get cooked in the 80s.
What I said, and I never said he get cooked because his offensive skills is crazy. But the ball has to come.
It's too physical.
Because you got to play defense.
That guy's from Serbia. He probably wrestles bears on his free time.
He got to play defense.
Okay.
Them dudes is hitting him. That's one thing about the overseas game that they don't bring over here. There's no physicality. The only guy that plays physical is his dad. He plays with Sacramento.
Arvydas Sabonis.
He's the only guy, but then he cries.
Oh, on Sacramento, yes.
Yeah,
The son you're talking about. Yeah.
But he enforces contact.
Yeah.
Jokic is. His skill level is offensively is unbelievable.
Yeah.
No question. No question.
So
does that define? Because I just want to say a couple of things. Jeff Van Gundy and Stan Van Gundy will be the Knicks coach next year.
I will take that over Tom Thibodeau.
You have lost your mind.
Where was Tom Thibodeau when Van Gundy was the coach last time? He was his assistant.
First of all, they'd be the two ugliest coaches in the NBA.
Listen, you're an ugly dude too, and you got a great crossover.
And they will be the shortest. What they gonna bring?
We are
chairs?
Santa's elves.
Do you hear Stan Van Gundy scream? Why you think Zion Williamson stayed hurt while he was coaching? He couldn't take his voice. Get up, ball, Zion. Are you kidding me? Zion stayed hurt, man. And
what's his excuse now?
And Jeff looked like a cow licked his head.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, what is that, Jeff? What is that, Jeff? Jeff hasn't had a haircut in 35 years. What are you doing with that, Jeff?
Oh my God, Jay, what's the next segment? We got to stop this.
All right, next segment, we actually have a special guest calling in.
First time.
Yes, Mr. Steve Burtt.
Steve Burtt.
All day. Childhood friend of mine's, all-time leading scorer. My brother from another mother. We've known each other since I was 14. He was 15. All-time leading scorer at Iona College. My guy, Steve All Day Burtt. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate it.
All right, so Steve, first question I have for you is, what does basketball mean to you? We know that with your career, it's been your life. So, what does basketball mean to you?
Basketball is everything for me. It's saved my life. It filled my life. It replaced things in my life, and all the things that I lost. That energy was put into basketball, and basketball took me everywhere that I've been. It got me everything that I've gotten through basketball.
Wow. That's a very strong statement. That's great. Second question we have for you is, you're a New York City legend. Dari talks about you at least 14 times an episode. What about New York City and New York City basketball helped you prepare for such a successful career and life with basketball?
So at the time, I would say 13 to 18, everybody was good. Everybody that was playing was very good. Or the guys that didn't play much were just good. So there was so much competition. If you wanted to be on that stage, you had to prepare yourself. If you were serious about being on that stage, getting a scholarship, doing well in high school, getting a scholarship to college, you had to be prepared. You had to be on the good teams with the good players, be able to play not just against them, but be able to play with them. And that prepared me for real basketball later on.
Okay.
Teammates, I learned how to play with guys that are just as good, if not better, than me, which was going to be the case for most of my life. You know what I mean? As good as I was, there were so many guys that were better than me, way better than me. And you have to learn, I had to learn how to play with them and against them. And New York City, I learned that early, very early.
It's just, it sounds like it was just like a totally different ball game in New York as opposed to anywhere else. Darry always talks about it, how...
Well, I tell you this, and I'm not saying this because he's, a very dear friend of mine. Nobody that I ever played against was more tenacious on the basketball court. You might have guys that could shoot a little. I ain't gonna say too many guys could jump high than Steve. Steve jumped real high. But he played harder than everybody. That's what this guy used to ride a 10 speed to King Towers from the Bronx. I'm dead serious, and he's in the pros. You don't find that, and Steve. People they talk about Steve. Respect I have for him because of how hard he played. And then another thing, he was out of the league for a couple of years and made it back to the NBA at 30. That's unheard of.
That speaks to your work ethic, Steve.
There you go.
It speaks to your work ethic.
Yeah, well, it takes work. It takes work to get there. It takes work to stay there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. The third question we have for you is, out of all your years of basketball, who is your favorite teammate or someone that you'll never forget?
Whoa. Okay. So, man. I don't know. There's so many, man. There were so many guys that I won't forget, but I got to say, Gary Springer, man, if I got to say anybody, you know what I mean? I can go on down the line, but, I got to go from the beginning. So it would be Gary Springer and Mike Moses. Those would be my favorite teammates to this day, even still.
As long as you didn't say disco. As long as you didn't say disco.
But I had Mike Moses on the paper because I knew he was going to say Mike.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, Mike. Say teammates in life,
no doubt,
and teammates on the court, and taught me a lot of what I know, what I learned early on. I learned from those two guys.
Gotcha.
Mike Moses first, and then Gary at Iona.
Yes.
Okay. So speaking of Iona, Steve, the fourth question we have for you is, a lot of people know about you. A lot of people know about your son. You guys are the only father-son tandem to score over 2,000 points at the same school. How do you feel about you and Steve Burtt Jr.'s success at Iona and then as well as overseas?
Well, Iona for me was it was a place to show my stuff, a place to grow, a place to learn, and it was a beautiful thing because I had so much pent up energy. I was able to release it and get better and do great things there. When Steve came, it was kind of the same thing because they didn't really want him. I wanted him to go there. He didn't really want to go there. And then he finally got on board with it, and then they started recruiting him. But just that he started out nowhere, you know what I mean? And I started out the same way. When I got there, I wasn't starting, I wasn't playing much. And, the work ethic, that's what I see most in my career and in his career. Because people don't believe me when I say that. I was a scrub, and I was a scrub. Every level I got to, I was a scrub again because I had to relearn things, and I had an adjustment period. So it happened from high school to college. It happened going to high school. It happened going from high school to college. It happened going from college to the pros. You know, and yeah.
Crazy how things work out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I prefer. I know that way. That's what was presented to me. That's what I had to deal with, and I was able to work through it. That's why when his situation came about, it was like, hey, don't worry. I know what you got to do. You just got to work. Hello. You just got to work a little harder than everyone else. You know, and that's it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell until you just focus and get into it. You know, he did a great job. I'm very, very proud of him. He did a great job.
I seen the process, man.
I hope Iona paid you for getting your son in there, you know. You're probably the best recruiter they've had.
They thank him.
Yeah.
Thank him. That's it.
Yeah, they better have. So, Steve, another thing, people know that you were a great player. You call yourself a scrub. We're not going to allow that here on the podcast. As a coach, you also became a coach. So what are some things as a coach that you saw that you wish you knew as a player?
Well, one thing is, even I'm still learning as a coach. I'm still learning every day. But the value of being a part, you know, not. I knew the value of being a part, but I would have gotten even more into it, and been more of a help as the 8th man, 9th man, 10th man, because the game is not just played with stars, right? The game is, you need everybody. So, you know, I wasn't the star everywhere I went. You know, I had to work my way, and I had to help. And when I was in CBA before I went back to the NBA, I never started, which it didn't make a difference to me. You know what I mean? And I love that, and I would enhance that even more.
All right, that's great. Last question. It's like Christmas time for basketball. It's the NBA Finals. What do you think, seeing what you've seen so far through 3 games? Who do you think is going to win? Do you have an MVP prediction? Me and Dari have been fighting about this at work, and Dari's not winning, so.
Okay.
I like the fact, I don't know who's going to win.
Okay.
But I like the fact that it's going to be competitive. Mm-hmm. Yes, Denver is the better team and has the better weapons, the bigger weapons, but I believe in the power of great coaching, great administration, and great team chemistry. I believe in that, even if the talent is not as high as the opponent. So I love seeing a great series. I'm loving it. I mean, Joker is unbelievable, man. Dude, it's crazy with it. You know?
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch. But it's also fun to watch them slow him up a little bit. You know? It's good to see. It's good to see him adjust. I like the adjustment. And it's all game long. They're making adjustments and switching and changing. And next game, they got to make some different adjustments. And that's, to me, that's the beauty of the game. Not while I'm playing, but while I'm watching.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Now, let me ask you one more final question, just because it was said last night. Me and Dari talked about it. I want your opinion on it. Jeff Van Gundy on the broadcast last night said Jokic is an elite player and that he could play in any era and be great. What are your thoughts on that, Steve?
He's big, man. He would have been tough. He would have been tough, man. He would have been tough. He got some moves. He got some great post moves for big man moves that guys don't even use those no more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he's turning it back into an art. And you had some masters of it back in the day. I think he would have bumped with them guys. Oh yeah, because he's big enough. Yeah. And he's skilled and he can handle the ball. And nobody handled the ball like that. There was some big guys that handled a little bit, but not a lot of big guys handle the ball like he does. Good Lord, he'd have turned the NBA out. He might have took it to another level.
Woo. Okay. Dari, here's your rebuttal.
Okay. But on the other side of that, he got to guard somebody. You know what I'm saying, Steve? He got to guard people. There's nobody for him to guard. There's no big man. They took the big man out of the game. You know. So.
Oh yeah, but that would have been interesting.
Yes,
that would have been very interesting. That would have been something to see.
Right.
That would have been something to see.
But Steve, you think he'd be a good ball player back in the 90s and the 80s?
Yeah. 90s, he'd have killed the 90s.
He killed the
He killed the
90s.
90s. In the 80s, he'd have had a different. It'd have been a little different because they'd have hit him more. They'd allowed him to hit him more. They'd allowed him to put hands on him.
Gotcha.
And they'd have hit him. And they'd have smacked him. You know what I mean? Hard.
Yeah. You would have smacked him hard.
Now they got big guys. They had some rough dudes, man, that do that long before I do that.
Yeah, no doubt, though. You're right. You're right.
John Lucas, just Lucas and them dudes,
Oh,
man,
my God.
from Portland.
Maurice Lucas?
Yeah, man.
Oof. Yeah.
So yeah, I believe in him. I believe he's real. I don't think it's no sham. I've seen some guys come from Europe. I played against some Europeans. I know, some of the makeup. I hate that some of them they've given them so much and then they soft. You know what I'm saying? But there are a few that are real deal. He's the real deal.
Thank you very much,
He's
Steve.
the real deal.
Thank you for
He's
that.
the real deal, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do this. Oh, I love him, man.
You just made my day. Darry's
before he even got the accolades, when he threw a pass, a full court bounce pass, and I was like, "Who is that? Magic. Magic does that. Nobody does that."
Yeah,
and this dude was just his passing prowess was what I saw at first. I didn't even know he could score like that.
He's a bad man.
Yes, he is.
And now you're gonna have Darry pouting for the rest of the show.
No, I'm not pouting because I know Steve always liked people that pass the ball.
Good, because he's smart.
No, because
he knows ball.
Because his name is all.
I can't shoot. Look,
his name is all day.
Shoot. I can't shoot about it.
If you don't pass it to him, right? You know his name, right? All day.
All day.
Yeah. You can't be all day. You don't get nobody pass you that route.
True.
All right.
Steve, thank you so much for taking the call. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Call in whenever you want.
I missed 2 trains, brother.
You missed 2 trains. I got you, man. I'll be down Saturday, man. I'll be down Saturday.
All right.
I'll call you later, man. All right.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
bro.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me. Yeah, thanks for having me. All right. Peace.
Bye. All right, so that was Steve Burtt. Great way to end the show. What do you think?
Indeed. I agree.
That was a very real and,
That's the only way he knows how to be, and appreciate the calling and his sincerity in every moment and speaking
absolutely.
on his journey. And I've been there with him, as a competitor, but more importantly as a friend. Mm-hmm. And so I can attest to everything he said. And then just listening to him talk about Little Steve, which is true, which people didn't know, that Iona did not recruit Little Steve. It was Steve pushing it. And then he had to fight his way. I remember Jeff Rowland was the coach. Mm-hmm. And Little Steve was a freshman. He got 15 minutes a game, 20 minutes, and he was upset behind that. And by his senior year, he was first team All MAC.
And the only person that scored more points than him was his old man.
His dad. That's right.
How crazy is that?
That's right. Great life, man. Thank you, Bert.
Yeah, thank you. Special thanks to Steve Burtt Sr. for getting on the call tonight and speaking some ball with us. Yes. Thank you guys for showing up again for another episode. We hope you guys keep tuning in, sharing it, showing everybody, getting it out there. We want to just show our love for the game of basketball, and we want you guys to share that with everyone that loves basketball too. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. Can't wait to see you guys next week.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Court is adjourned.